Liam Dawson and James Vince made the most of a mostly inexperienced Leicestershire attack by putting on an unbroken third-wicket partnership of 248 as Hampshire took control of their LV County Championship game on the second day at Grace Road. The first day was well and truly washed out, but we had a prompt start on day two with Niall O'Brien, the latest captain of the home side, winning the toss and inserting, which gave Matthew Hoggard a chance to shine in the final match of his brilliant career. And he should have started it with a wicket in his first over, only for Michael Thornley to give Jimmy Adams an early helping hand. Hoggard will be greatly missed around the country, but not necessarily by the batsmen, who've played and missed against him like this many times before. The green surface looks an ideal one to bowl on first, and at the toss, perhaps the home side thought that they would have the advantage to help them record their first win of the four-day campaign in their very last match. Both Adams and Sean Terry rode their luck at times between moments such as these, as they put on 50 runs for the first wicket. Ben Rain broke the stand by finding the edge of Adams' bat as he departed for 14. Terry, who impressed in the middle order in Worcestershire last week, had some moments of fortune in the first hour or so, but he kept his head and was able to record his second successive half-century, which was made from 112 balls. He reached it with his 8th four and would now have been hopeful of recording his highest ever score, having done the really hard work against the new ball. He failed by 1 run to surpass his first-class best of 59 last week, and he'd made 58 this time when he was trapped in front by Shiv Thakur at 114 for 2. He'd added 64 runs with Dawson, who was in wonderful form against a Leicestershire attack, Hoggard aside, which had little experience between the bowlers, something that Dawson took advantage of. His 50 was reached off 79 deliveries, that being his 8th four. It was the 9th time that he'd made it to a 50 and what has been a consistent season for the talented all-rounder. Until this day, though, he hadn't been able to convert any of those into 100. Even though Dawson played delightfully, his innings was bettered by Vince, who's been in outstanding form in the last month, with hundreds against both Lancashire and Worcestershire last week. It didn't take him too long to start reeling off some exquisite shots, as Leicestershire was soon discovering that they simply didn't do enough with the ball when it was at its newest and hardest. Now with the shine gone, batting was beginning to look a lot easier, certainly when Vince was on strike. His 50, also his 9th of the summer, arrived off only 65 balls, and he crashed the ball to the boundary rope on 10 occasions. It's easy to forget that he's still only 22 years of age, having been around the Hampshire team for a while now. On this evidence, he will become a very fine batsman indeed. The ease with which he sent this ball from James Sykes over the ropes for a 6 should confirm that statement. He began to catch Dawson up in spite of the fact that the latter had been at the crease for 21 more overs. These two batsmen were by now dominating this day, another one which we filed under disappointing for the home team, who've had a summer they would rather forget in all forms of the game. Certainly in the second half of the season, they've been second best in every single game they've played in, with a whole host of batsmen enjoying facing their attack. Dawson and Vince simply being the latest pair to make hay against a team which must be very low on confidence by now. The race was now on to see who would make it to 3 figures first, and that prize went to Dawson, who celebrated with a beaming smile and a kick. He deserved this moment for the performances he's put in this year. He finally made it to 100 off 164 balls, with his 13th four helping him over the line. Vince was soon at his mark too. For him, this was a 4th 100 of the campaign, and that stat has only been bettered by one other player this year, Kent's Brendan Nash. This was a super knock, occupying just 119 balls, with 16 fours and a 6 included. You had to have some sympathy for Leicestershire really, who were not offered a sniff of a chance as the day drew towards its close. Both batsmen were by now seeing the ball as if it was the size of a planet, and they were soon starting to make the art of scoring runs look way too easy against a tiring attack which must have been waiting for the end of this day. By the close, the 350 had been posted, and these two had taken their partnership to 248, a record for the 3rd wicket for Hampshire against Leicestershire, who used 9 bowlers throughout the day. And there may be many more runs to be added to that partnership yet, with Vince able to go again on the third morning on 145, which has been made off only 168 balls, with Dawson still there too on 136. They've taken their side to 362 for 2, a very handy place to be in.